For my presentation on the strategy that I decided to use for my instructional design plan, I'm going to introduce you all to a strategy that I've learned throughout my professional career so far called the Rally Round Robin. Now, the Rally Round Robin comes from Kagan, which some of you may have seen or participated in different professional developments involving Kagan. So this strategy comes from different Kagan strategies of cooperative learning. So it's all about getting the students involved and getting them to interact with one another. So the Rally Round Robin is one that I picked because it's something that I can easily use in my science classes, and it's something that comes immediate to my students now. It's once you really get the gist down and the students understand what they're doing, it's really easy to understand. So first thing you want to think about is students should be in groups of 4 or groups close to 4. If they kind of veer a little off, if they're 5 or 3, that's okay. You just have to figure it out. Students should also have partners, so they either need a shoulder partner or a face partner. So they'll have one or the other. Sometimes you might ask them to work in their shoulder partners, and other times you might ask them to work with their face partners. Like I said, if you have to use an odd number group, such as 3 or 5, you'll just have to figure it out if students will work in a group of 3 and things like that. So 2 students at the table should be A's, and 2 students at the table should be labeled B's. So you'll have a group and you'll have 2 A's and 2 B's at the group of 4. Once again, with an odd number group, you might pick a letter C. You might make a group of 3 and form a letter C, and they'll just have to all work together in that group of 3. So you'll have to just figure out what works best for your class, and maybe even the teacher can pair up with a student if that's the case. So just whatever you think will work best for your class, it's up to you. It's up to your discretion. So a table of grouping should look like this. So usually most of these Kagan strategies are based around groups of 4. They really stress the importance of being in cooperative groups of 4. Of course, they understand the odd number groups, so that just has to be worked in. So they would like to see an A here, a B next to the A, so those 2 are shoulder partners, and then a B across from an A, so the face partners are A and B, and then an A and B across here. You never want the A and the A across from each other because you'll ask them to say A members share first and things like that. So you always want an A to be paired up with a B either way, or a B to be paired up with an A. So next, the teacher must decide on the question they're going to use. The question should be something that can be listed. So the answer should be something that we can list in kind of a format. So usually it's just right there, facts or things like that. So one example I used is name the parts used in an electrical circuit. So there's different parts that you use in an electrical circuit. So the partners are able to answer that question, and they're able to give multiple answers. That's the key. You want to be able to give multiple answers in a list format. Then the teacher needs to pick a time limit. Typically the time limit for these questions is between 10 to 30 seconds, and a teacher may have multiple questions per lesson to continue the activity. So for example, you might ask your students that question, what are the parts of the electrical circuit? For me, I would give about 10 seconds for that question because it's really not a long question, and then they would go. It really depends on the question you're asking, depending on the number of seconds, but you don't want to have too short of a question or too long of a question because students will run out of things to talk about. So next, the teacher will pose the question to the students. The students will answer the question like a rally, so they'll go back and forth from partner A to partner B, giving the answer. So teachers might say, partner A, you're going to start. They will get the time limit. You have 10 seconds to answer this question, and you will begin. And it will go like this. The teacher will say, what are the parts of the electrical circuit? Student A, I would like you to go first. You have 10 seconds. Go. Student A will say, one part is a bulb or a device. Student B would then say, a battery. Student A, and then it would go back to student A. Student A might say a wire, and so on and so on. They will keep listing different parts of a circuit. So just important things to remember. Be sure to make it a question that can be answered quickly. Be sure it's a question where multiple students can list facts, so where many students can list different facts. It's not just one concrete answer. If students finish before time is up, be sure they can ask extension questions. And then just know it's a great activity, and at any one given time, about 50% of students in the classroom are speaking and are engaged. So it really gets the students involved. And like I said, it came from Kagan, the Kagan Cooperative Learning Book, and you can find it on their website. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you use this in your classroom.